Hello, hello, hi, hi, folks. Welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Um, I had a really interesting day, but it is not the time to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it another night, but I had a really awesome day, an interesting day, a day of just quiet time, really quiet time, and it was just nice, you know. One of these days, once in a while, you need one of these days, you know. So there's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on within a lot of families that I know. There's a lot of people who have lost friends and family members, and just it's a messy world out there, and innocent people, innocent people are dying. You know, Now, it could be because of revolution, it could be because of just domestic violence, it could be because of a drunk driver just ran into him, or it could be all kinds of stuff, right? But it's an strange time that we are a part of. And I have been accused of either being way too emotional or not emotional at all. You know what I mean? Like, I have been told, man, you are just, really emotional. Or I've also been told, man, you are just like stone cold, you know? So I've been accused of both. Now, I've shared this before, in fact, I've cried on camera many times. Um, but I always make a joke. I say I cried when Rambo ran out of ammunition in the movie. I just cry at everything. But it's interesting because, sorry, it's interesting because as a guy, as as a a guy, it's still weird for some um, that a guy would cry, right? Or a guy would be sad, even, right? And I think that's interesting. As you're joining me live, let me know you're here. I don't know who's here, who's not here, unless you comment. I see some viewers go up and down, but I don't know who's here, who's not here. So I would love to know. So as a guy, it's kind of still weird, right? Sometimes you're like, you don't want a guy that just cries all the time, right? But then at the same time, you don't want a stone cold, you know, guy either, right? So the Stoics have also been accused of kind of, because they deal with ideas of emotions in a whole different way. They've been accused of, maybe not crying when it's time to cry or when the situation allows, right? And I want to share a story with you that kind of tells you that that is not true, right? Now, you guys, if you're new to my lives, welcome, welcome. If you're not, you're a vet to my lives. You already know what's going on. I'm a big fan of the Stoics, and I'm not a scholar, but I read and I follow, and I'm a big fan of the Stoics, right? So I um, I agree with a lot of their principles and concepts and values, and so one thing that the Stoics, and I'll get to that, but there is a Stoic story about crying, right? About Marcus Aurelius, the big name in the Stoics, right? So there's a story that he's crying over a lost tutor, I believe it is. He lost a tutor, and he's crying over his lost tutor. One of the scholars comes up to him and says, "Hey, it's not really, it's not nice for you to be crying. You shouldn't be crying, right?" His father, his stepfather, father-in-law, his stepfather steps in and says, "Let the boy be a boy. Let him cry, right? Let him grieve." And I think that's just so powerful. Now, when it's time to cry, when it's time to be sad, when it's time to kind of maybe pour out your heart and just kind of pour out your emotions, when it's time to do that, it's okay to do that. The Stoics don't say don't cry. The Stoics don't say hold all your emotions in and don't do anything. That is not what the Stoics say. What happens with these emotions, and I am dealing with so many trapped emotions. Like I said, I got the book from Jenny Potter, Sabotage No More, Self-Sabotage No More, right? So I'm reading that and I'm just finding so many hidden emotions that I have. But the Stoics don't ever say don't cry and just pour out, hold on to your emotions and then don't pour them out. That's not what they say. So the Stoics say that it's okay to grieve. In fact, you should grieve when it's time to grieve. When it's time to grieve, you should grieve. What is not okay, what is not a common practice with the Stoics, is that don't hold on to the grief. Don't let the grief consume you. Don't let the grief take over you. That's powerful. A lot of us, so many of us, almost like to brag about our griefs. Like, it's like we decorate them and walk around saying, I'm grieving, I'm crying about this or that. Like, you hold on to it forever. Like it's some kind of like a trophy or something. We hold on to this stuff, right? I'm guilty. Listen to me. I've been admitting to this stuff for the past few months. I'm so guilty of that, and I'm working on this stuff, right? Isn't that the truth though? We hold on to our griefs like it's some kind of a trophy and walk around and show it off to people and tell people about it. Oh, look, I'm grieving over this. The Stoics don't say don't cry. Don't be emotional. Don't be sad. Don't be grieved. That's not what the message is. The message is don't hold on to that crap. Don't hold on to that bag of garbage. Because after a while, it'll stink when you hold on to that grief. There's a period of time that you gotta. Uh, this is another live that I may do. This is my principle. This is what I believe. There's a period of time that is okay to grieve within. Beyond that, I believe that it's just you're holding on to it. You're not grieving for the situation or the condition or the person or what have you. You're not grieving for that anymore. You're just like to hold on to that stuff. Emotional hoarding. Remember, I talked about that in one of the lives. We emotional hoard all the time. We hold on and collect like emotional garbage stuff, garbage emotions, So, isn't that powerful though? I think that's important to pay attention to, because hopefully you guys are going to drop some comments, some thoughts, some feedback below, because it's a little late, so I'm not seeing any comments. If you guys are commenting or anything, I don't see anything lately. I don't see comments, or I don't see who joins until I get off the live and then go back and check it out. You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird. But anyway, I'm not going to grieve over it, not for that long. So there's got to be a period of time that you grieve over anything. Beyond that, you're holding on to it as a trophy. And that's when it's damaging to you, and perhaps to other people, because you're not being the real you anymore. You're holding on to all these emotions, right? Hoarding. So hopefully you got some love, some inspiration, some value. Drop your thoughts, your comments, your feedback below. Let this feed grow. If you feel like this was worthy of sharing, then do what you got to do. Tag a couple people, share it on your wall. Spread the love, baby. Just do what you got to do. And I'm really excited. I was gonna say fired up. I'm not fired up, but I'm excited to get some feedback from you guys. Some of you give me some amazing feedback, so I'm looking forward to some feedback to this live. So I appreciate you guys again. Hopefully you guys got some love. Until tomorrow, when we do it all over again. Much love.